This is Akash Singh, Indian. He is currently being obliterated on the internet, and it's really important to talk about why. Also, Pokimane humiliating yourself because apparently to be a modern female influencer, you have to be absolutely insufferable. Wow, I don't know who came up with the lore here, but for some reason, that's where we're at. Akash Singh over here is a comedian. He portrays himself as a macho man, a man that gets around, that sees the town. But he's Indian. And even more importantly, he has a girlfriend / wife that he married, I believe, and she's humiliating. She's going throughout the internet just making fun of him. She's become an influencer, and she's using his millions to essentially make him her pet. And it's pathetic. And he's like making believe he's actually kind of a Giga Chad based. And he's so like respectful of women, and he's like fighting for women's rights. He's a feminist. He's out there, and he's absolutely getting humiliated on the timeline. Because feminists these days, they like sitting down, they like telling you, hey, I respect women so much, I am gonna treat them like a man. The twist, though, is that they're not a man. She wants your attention. She wants your love. You gave her your money, and now she's like, you know what? She will destroy you. All right, let's talk about this because we got to do this immediately. So this is Akash Singh's wife, Jasleen. Okay. To everyone saying we should get divorced, we didn't sign a prenup. In other words, he can't divorce me or I'm going to take half of what he's worth. Now, you might think this is just playful banter. Playful banter between this dude who basically gives her everything in her entire life except for his attention. This dude and this woman who essentially is saying that you are stuck with me forever because we didn't sign a prenup and therefore I can take you for everything. Now, you could argue this is just playful banter. I would argue it's disrespectful. And she don't know her place. But hey, whoa. He's a feminist, and he respects her ability to make jokes. He's a comedian, after all. Well, what about this clip?
Get this little.
It's a ring light! Dr. Trevor, what are we doing?
So, Jasleen sustained a bruise through some physical activity at home, and we treat a lot of bruises here for many different reasons. And so they're called.
Also, I heard you're single. Is that true?
That's instant divorce. Instant divorce. Absolutely, for the record, unacceptable. It is. It absolutely is. And you know what? I know that the women in my life, who I love with my whole heart, would never even consider making a joke like this. Literally never. Because I am the most important thing in the world to her. And to be fair, she's the most important thing in the world to me. So, hey, I can't fault her for that. But realistically, this would never even come up.
We get these types of bruises on the neck.
Wait,
we
why?
call them something else on the neck, and it's surprisingly we get it on TV.
Yeah, so that's nightmarish. All right, but hey, maybe she's just out there trying to be funny for her TikTok audience. Well, what about this clip?
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college, so I'm living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
I'm active.
You were a hoe. You were a hoe. Oh my god. This dude, Indian, married a hoe. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's crazy. Bro.
He's trying to have an orgy.
Yeah, Akash was a virgin when he met her. She clearly wasn't. Yo, what the bad? Bruh, that is wild. That is...
Yeah, when this guy is just completely correct, you have to rethink your life decisions. You have to rethink your life decisions. Don't marry a hoe. Lesson learned. Do not marry a hoe. They will destroy you. I know this is gonna be a hot take. A lot of people are not ready to hear it, but yeah, they will destroy you. Absolutely. I could talk about this forever, but feminism is the devil's work. It's the devil's handiwork. Genesis chapter 2. God made Eve for Adam, not to be passed around the college. Like, that's a red flag. A red flag. And the fact that she lied to him and she said that she was a virgin and she lied and turns out she was a hoe. Oh, absolutely diabolical. Like, literally diabolical. This is why dudes are scared to get married these days. It gets worse. She apparently made him propose to her a second time on camera to film it for her TikTok clout.
First of all, I want to say to Enma, happy birthday. All of this is possible because you told me I could do anything that I wanted. And
he's trying so hard to say the right words.
Ever made my entire life was this woman right here.
Cap, they're getting divorced. Cap.
His birthday, and I love you so much, and the only regret that I have is that I only got you once. So I want to make a little quick announcement that we're going to get married again. We're going to renew our vows.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Come to that. Does that sound And since
In
I
India, let's go! Let's go!
am renewing my vows, I think the only thing.
All right. That's cute, right? That's cute. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. Personally, I think the fact that this was filmed and put on the internet is a red flag. Red flag. All the beautiful moments that, look, you know me, all right? I'm out here, I'm making videos, I'm covering the most raunchy, clickbait, diabolical topics on the face of the planet, all right? You will notice I have never clickbaited my personal relationships, ever. Never, ever. Because, you know, that's personal. And that's what makes it beautiful and special. Like, dude, I just feel like they're sharing their relationship with the people. They're having an orgy every time they're talking to each other. A bunch of slightly invited guests that are intruding in what is supposed to be a holy matrimony between man and woman. Of course this is falling apart. It's like the most obvious thing in the world. But anyway, watch her response. It's worse.
Sing, will you be clean sing forever again?
Yes!
Yes, she says, looking at the ring.
Oh my god!
All right, wow. Look at that. Beautiful moment so far, guys.
Take that thing off. Drink eating.
Did you guys know this? Yes! Oh my god!
That's pretty wholesome. That's pretty wholesome.
How big is this?
Big
How big is this?
enough for you to shut up every time I tell you to.
All right, get ready. The way she dodged the kiss is diabolical.
What do you say? This is so cool.
God, it looks so beautiful.
Courtney Mustard.
Yeah, it is an expensive fucking rock. But dude, the fact that like he's going in for the kiss and she turns her head away. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That's the worst thing I've ever seen ever. So anyway, it gets even worse.
How do you and your husband split finances?
We don't.
We don't.
If you want to work, all for that. But like any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his account, that's a fucking red flag. His money is our money.
Get ready for the best part.
And my money is my money.
Instant divorce. Get her away. Get out. Dude, this is... Look, women on the internet, especially like these feminist cringe lords that need a man to take care of her, but also she's a strong, independent woman and all the stuff that she makes is herself. His money is our money and my money is my money. Has got to be the most evil shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Unironically, insane. Like, truly, truly insane. Like, wowzers levels of insane. I've been saying this the entire time and I will say it again. Modern feminism is not wanting equal rights for women. Modern feminism is women wanting all the rights that men have and all the rights that women have always had. Women enjoy the right to vote, but ain't women wanting to get the right to get drafted when there's a military draft. Women want to make their own money and stuff like that, surely. But they also want a husband that's there to give them all the shit that he makes. This is modern radical feminism, and it is a controlling method. It's not about equality, and she is literally falling into that. And these are the people that are broadcasting to an entire generation of women. And people are like, why don't men want to really get married and settle down? Well, you know, be real. You have these creatures crawling through the sewers. In fact, the crazy thing is there's like an ancient Jewish quote for this. I'll even show it to you. All right. There's an ancient Jewish quote. One who says what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. This is an average guy. One who says what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. This is a wicked person. One who says what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. This is a retard. And one who says what's mine is yours and what's yours is yours. Well, that's a really pious person. She is wicked. That's modern feminism. A wicked person. What's mine is mine, but what's yours is also mine. Classic woke bullshit. Classic communist mentality. Unbelievable.
So many girls in my life personally that have been with guys that weren't transparent about money and they ended up being terrible in other aspects and like people ended up breaking up in divorces. So that is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from...
All right, so not just transparent, but also generous and also what I make, I keep. Are we on the same page?
Day one. That means...
All right, dude, I'm just telling you, you best be cooking, cleaning, and pumping out babies. If you even have the gall, to come up with this level of finance bullshit. All right, dude.
Paying for the first date and everything. I know that it's rough out there, inflation. Like, I'm not saying to just like waste it on every single girl, but if a girl is special, you should be courting her properly.
Yeah, thank you, woman, for teaching me about how I should treat women. Thank you, woman. Very cool. I don't actually want your advice, but this is advice that's being given to thousands of people around the world. Hearing retards like this talk about their absolute failure, where they like, dude, the fact that I am talking about this means that this husband made a terrible mistake, because he's getting humiliated and dragged everywhere, and he is, and I don't mean this with hesitation, he's miserable. He's absolutely miserable. Oh my God. Now, Pokimane is another issue. Another problem child in this entire sphere. She's the largest leftist, she's the largest female girl boss, hyper feminist, eat the rich. The rich people are bad. We hate billionaires, even though she's like worth $20 million. So she recently made this video talking about how she bought herself an engagement ring.
I bought an engagement ring for myself. Okay, but you guys told me to. In the comments my last video, you guys kept talking about a ring. A lot of you were saying, girl, just go get one for yourself. So that's what I did. A ring at Bulgari that I just fell in love with. It felt like way too much to get for myself, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, I hope someday I actually get engaged. The person that you are engaged to the most in your entire lifetime is your damn self.
Yeah, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Holy shit. This is the most pathetic thing, literally, in the history of pathetic things. Like, it's unfathomable that people are like this.
Look at the gorgeous diamond.
Also, it's not even a nice ring. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. You have every right to disagree. But, like, this is complete and utter insanity. Complete insanity. I'm a girl boss. I don't need no man. I would love a ring. I would love to be engaged. I would love a husband. I would love someone to be there and take care of me. But I don't really need any of that. I'm just going to buy one for myself, and I'm so happy with it. As she cries miserably in her pillow alone. All right? There is no other explanation for this. This is where we're at, okay? No doubt, no shadow of a doubt in my mind that this is a miserable, lonely bitch that is coping like crazy about how in actuality she's super happy about this entire situation where she's desperately alone. And she has infinite posts like this. There's just so many, and it's tragic. It's tragic. This is someone who's obviously alone, whose physiology is screaming at her. Her heart and her mind are screaming at her. Find a husband and build a family. And she is squashing that down because society told her actually it's better to be miserable and alone. She had another clip recently. Her advice on how to handle breakups.
But it's coming for you, okay?
What was this? What is this N-word Heil Hitler situation going on? What's going on?
So don't fret. And just know it's gonna be okay. I actually, throughout my whole life, whether it was a boy in high school or a boy now, I have one major tip for breakups, and it's a bit more of a psychological tip. It's not like a focus on yourself, go to the gym. Everybody hears that shit, okay? Let me tell you a tip that like you're gonna feel like you're mind controlling yourself a little bit, okay? It's a practice called noting. And basically what it means is, you know, when you go through a breakup, and like you can't stop thinking about them. You're like, I'm so depressed, and I wish this, and I wish that, and I wish I did this, and I wish they did that, and blah, 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 blah.
Bro, she's a
child. As soon as you feel good about yourself, as soon as you laugh, as soon as something good happens, take note. Like literally think to yourself, be like, oh, I just laughed, and for the last 5 minutes, I don't know, I was looking at some funny TikToks, and I didn't think of them.
Basically, what she's telling you is to distract yourself from your actual emotions, squash that shit down, and literally just ignore reality. I mean, classic, obviously. I mean, look, when I look at the crowd that thinks there's more than two genders, I don't expect to hear some hard-hitting reality, to be honest. I actually responded to this. I ratioed the fuck out of it, too. Unmarried, 30-year-old, virtue-signaling, multi-millionaire streamer woman who's been through messy relationship drama with other streamers gives breakup advice to her audience of desperately lonely 17-year-old boys. That's where we're at, baby! That's exactly where we're at, and it's insufferable to need to deal with this. All right, and these people are talking to a generation of young men and young women, and honestly, some people probably take her seriously, even though they shouldn't. She's probably the worst role model you could possibly get. Literally the worst role model ever. She got popular because she bent over and showed her ass to her audience on stream a couple thousand times. She developed an audience. She made millions off of bullshit and nothing. Now she's doing the virtue signal runaround where she's desperately, miserably lonely, buying herself engagement rings, talking about noting happy moments to ignore breakups. It's unbelievable how pathetic and childish this is. You want real good breakup advice? Real good breakup advice is actually go to the gym. I know she was laughing about it. And you know why? Because real good breakup advice is that if you break up, make yourself a better person. This is your opportunity to learn. God put this obstacle in your life for you to surpass it and grow. All right, that's what it's about. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about using reality to make yourself better. But anyway, no one actually cares about making themselves better in retard virtue signal streamer world. So, you know, we're too busy focusing on buying ourselves engagement rings so that I don't need no man. I can buy myself flowers. It's this entire genre of really depressed women refusing to admit to themselves that they actually just desperately want a husband. And there's more of these. There's so many. So this is Pokemon explaining why she's not married, even though she's 29, aging rapidly, uterus slowly turning to dust.
Here's why I'm not married yet. My parents keep asking, so I'm just gonna send them this video. 1. Dating while being a public figure
Your parents care about you. I'm glad you're laughing about it.
has its difficulties. If I go on a dating app, I'm either bombarded with people asking if it's really me,
So don't go on a dating app.
or I get banned because they think I'm catfishing myself. Meeting up with a stranger is risky enough, but even more so after instances where a guy will pretend they don't know who I am, and then I find out they knew all along. I also think that, as a career-oriented woman, I don't want to settle for someone who
As a career-oriented woman, I would rather die in complete loneliness and misery, but that's okay, because I have $20 million in the bank, and I buy myself a new engagement ring every single year. That's right. I distract myself. I just note the happy moments on my life while I'm scrolling through TikToks, so I could ignore the things that are actually important, so I could die alone and unfulfilled at the very end. But don't worry, because I'll have all these notes of funny TikToks that made me laugh and forget about how miserably lonely I was. I mean, listen, I'm not saying this to insult her. I'm not saying this honestly to insult anybody. I'm just trying to be completely upfront and honest with you. God made men and women to get married, to become one flesh, all right? It's that simple. It's worked that way for all of human history. And you really think you're gonna outsmart God? You're gonna outsmart the smartest people, as well as prophets, as well as God himself, who literally designed humans for this, all right? You were a rib. You were a rib. Damn it. All right. Well, anyway, I can't look at Pokemon any longer. Like, she's actually insufferable. She gives the worst advice ever. She's obviously desperately alone, tragically sad. And instead of actually recognizing that, she'd rather just note the happy moments and explain to her audience why actually it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be a girl boss.
is insecure about what I do or wants to control me. I'd never want to be that way towards my partner. 2. I went through a rather traumatizing experience that made it hard for me to feel safe and trust others. Once you see the emotional,
She's a victim, guys.
psychological, and even physical impact that someone can have on you, makes you cautious about entering into anything new. I guess you could say I'm on a romantic cooldown of sorts.
W for men everywhere. Men everywhere have dodged a geriatric bullet.
And lastly, I simply didn't feel for the right time or opportunity to get married in my early to mid-20s. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Thank you, college, for teaching women not to get married when they're most able to build great, beautiful families in the healthiest possible way. Thank you, colleges. Really appreciate the fact that you're telling women to murder their own babies and castrate their children. It's very cool of you to tell them not to actually get into a relationship so they can be desperately lonely later. And you know what? My favorite part is when they're desperately lonely, instead of actually looking in the mirror and being like, wow, I'm desperately lonely, I should teach the next generation not to make the same mistakes I did. They would rather be in like this misery loves company mindset where they convince themselves that this is actually a good thing. It's a good thing, actually, that she has $20 million in the bank while she's virtue signaling and desperately alone, craving someone to take care of her, so she has to buy herself engagement rings. So, you know what she does? You know what she does? Because she's so delusional, she tells other women that it's actually a good thing to focus on your careers instead of your relationships. It's actually a good thing to not get married. You should buy yourself an engagement ring, because the longest engagement you're gonna have is the engagement to yourself. Absolutely diabolical, satanic levels of bullshit coming out of her mouth every single time. So Jamari just made a video. This comedian's wife ruined his career. Akash saying, we need to get into the lore here, because there is this entire subsection of honestly social media women completely and utterly destroying their own lives and the lives of the people around them, because they refuse to admit that traditional conservative values are by far, bar none, by and large, the healthiest way to live your life. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't assume a lot of people that are watching I don't assume everyone watching me is religious or believes in God or anything like that. I don't make that assumption. But you have to admit, it's pretty insane that this book called the Bible, that was written 3,000 years ago, is by far giving you the best possible lifestyle to have, the healthiest society and the best lifestyle. It's pretty wild to think that a 3,000-year-old book is so right and accurate for modern day situations as well. It's almost like it's the word of God. Yeah, you should actually get married, and you should actually build a family, and you should actually have children. Yeah, you should honor your parents, and you know what? If your children see you honoring your parents, then your children will want to honor you. You should love your wife, and your wife should respect you. It's almost like it's completely correct about everything all the time, and all these people that feel like they've outsmarted God and come up with a new, healthier way to create relationships, where actually women don't need to get married until they're 47 years old and completely unable to have children. And men, well, actually, men actually do need to have a relationship with a woman where we need to give them infinite freedom and not actually require them to do any form of basic respect to their partners. It's almost like this is a recipe for disaster. Once again, Nuxanor ideology bleeding through into videos about internet whores. It keeps happening, but that's why you subscribe. All right, let's see this retard get made fun of.
Online recently has been a stand-up comedian named Akash Singh,
Indian.
and some comments that his wife has made about their life and their marriage. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Flagrant podcast starring Andrew Schultz and the man himself, Akash.
Indian.
And as far as digital media goes, comedy podcasts are not really my thing.
I've heard some legendary tipping, right? Like, you know, I remember I was hanging with Rogan once. He drops the car off. It's 100. Picks it up. It's 100.
Okay, that's aggressive.
Yeah.
He's responsible. He just.
Bro, that's the most forced laugh I've ever seen. I'll be real. I'm not like I'm not an Andrew Schultz hater. I'm also not really an Andrew Schultz fan per se. My issue with Andrew Schultz is he thinks he's way smarter than he actually is. But yeah, no real opinions as of now. Anyway,
I guess I just don't find either host to be particularly funny. I really think that Andrew got a career from swinging on Joe Rogan's nuts, and then Akash in turn did the same with Andrew.
there is an entire brand of comedians that only exist to be people that suck on Joe Rogan's nuts. I really feel like this is modern comedy. This is why modern comedy's dog shit now. Because in order to be in the in crowd, you need to suck off Joe Rogan. Like, I feel like that's kind of how it ended up happening. Right, you got Joe Rogan at the top of the pyramid. He has the biggest podcast. If you suck him off, he will get you on his podcast. And once he has you on his podcast, he will shout out your podcast. And if your podcast does well, then maybe your guest will be able to get on Joe Rogan's podcast. So it all somehow ends up back there. I feel like that's why modern comedy kind of fell off, because everything is really pretty formulaic.
You know, this guy is actually so unfunny as a comedian that I thought for sure he was like Lily Singh's long-lost brother or something.
That's actually pretty racist. He's actually just Indian, and the smell has absolutely nothing to do with their relationship.
Something like that, but
Disgusting.
it is simply not true.
Disgusting.
They actually do have two things in common, though. For one, they both cannot take any sort of constructive criticism.
Damn, that's crazy. For the record, I made fun of Indian people in this video. I want to make this very clear. I want to make my stance clear. I actually really like Indian people. All right, I know. My audience is gonna hate me because they think that I hate Indians, but I really don't. All right, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the people in my audience that hate Indians. I actually really like Indians. I know. It's crazy. We don't see hygiene necessarily on the same wavelength per se. Their Canadian accent is stellar as always, you know. But it's crazy. I just think they're actually kind of really nice people. Turns out. I don't think I'll ever visit India for obvious reasons. But yeah, they have a poop festival there, which is not exactly my flavor. But I think they're nice people in general. In fact, I think there's a reason why it was exposed that all the manliness alpha male anonymous accounts on Twitter ended up being Indians LARPing as Americans. Because this guy got absolutely manhandled. I don't know. I'm basing my entire Indian stereotype of men being simps based on this and this guy specifically. All right? I'm sure this isn't the case, but I've already made up my mind and I will never change it.
Regarding their comedy,
I'm trying to power through the set, but when I'm done with my set and I see him doing this, that shit, there is no way your fucking left hand is more interesting than what we're doing up here for an hour.
and for two, they were both virgins deep into their 30s.
I'm sure I could get there, but I don't give off the vibe, I think, of the girls like, I gotta fuck that guy.
In fact, it's quite apparent that growing up and even through his early adult life that this man had zero confidence in himself and never really got any attention from any girls.
So in high school it was because you said you didn't look good, and then after that it was religion?
hideous.
Well, you're not a hideous guy.
Hey, you haven't seen me in high school.
Well,
Short,
what
fat,
happened?
crooked teeth. I was just like a chipmunk, dude.
And I really do think that this is how he became a living doormat, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. And funny enough, the seeds of this expose of his home life were planted years ago when Myron and Frogger from Fresh and Fit would go onto the Flagrant podcast,
my God.
and it was beyond clear that Akash was not a fan of these guys by any means.
The way I look at it is, you watch them you see them evolutionary charts from Neanderthal to Homo sapien? Yeah. Y'all are the first motherfucker out of Neanderthal.
And ever since this interaction, the two of them have had beef for years.
Yeah, that roast took way too long to set up, I'm not gonna lie.
And even
should have just called him bald. It would have been much more effective and funnier.
And the two podcasts in general have had issues with each other. And at first I would say it was a pretty even battle with each respected fan base kind of riding for their guys. But lately Myron has been teabagging the shit out of Akash online. And it's really all been possible because of Akash's wife, Jasleen, as she has pretty much given Myron all the ammo in the world.
Bro, dude, why is she posting like these thirst trap videos online? She's your wife, all right? She's not the neighborhood's wife. All right, I understand you're woke and you voted for Bernie Sanders, okay? I understand you like communism, but she's not our wife, all right? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
You see, Akash made the mistake of trying to appear too perfect, and every time he would open up his mouth about his wife Jasleen, he would paint her as this beautiful, sexy, but also innocent, almost naive person. And on more than one occasion, he noted this story where they lost their V-cards to each other when she was in her early 20s, and I believe he was in his late 30s.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual partners, so that helped us connect a lot.
Oh, she admitted to be passed around the colleges after this. Oh my God, that's brutal. That's brutal. I don't know if he's telling the truth or if he thinks he's telling the truth or if he knows that he's lying here. But the fact that she decided to come out later and be like, yeah, I was passed around the colleges. It was the best time of my life. I'm super nostalgic for those moments. That's evil. That's evil. That's some succubus shit.
More.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe her?
If you've seen her, then it's hard to believe. Yeah. I remember I was just like, what?
I mean, it's almost like the guy had a superior...
Bro, wasn't there literally a clip? Oh my God.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. I'm living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
It's over, man. It's over, dude. You're so done. You're so cooked. First, I don't even believe. There's no way he believes this. Wait, did she lie to him and he just completely bought it? Because he's such a freaking simp. He just took her for her word like that? I don't know, man. Look, I know that this is going to sound weird, but hoes do be generating an energy. You could tell when someone's a hoe. You just can. All right? I'm sorry. You can tell when someone's pure, and you can tell when someone has been the communal cum dumpster. There's just something about people that gives off that vibe. He did not get the vibe.
Complex over this V-card fun fact, when in reality, he was really just on some Steve Carell shit. And it's quite apparent that even in his newfound success, he was still deeply insecure from his adolescence. But either way, Akash was still pretty well respected for years, and the problem really didn't start until his wife opened up her mouth. And
Yeah, bro. Your woman disrespecting you in public? In public? It's absolutely insane. Look, thank God I am blessed with a wonderful, wonderful woman in my life. We have a deal that we've made basically since we got married that in reality, I never criticize her in public and she never criticizes me in public. If we have complaints, we make it private. I've never like shit talked her ever, literally ever. Obviously, you know, there's always situations that arise where there's something she does that you don't like, or there's something you do that she doesn't like, and stuff like that. That's just nobody's business aside from ours. The idea of disrespecting, especially disrespecting your husband like this in public, it's evil. It's actually evil, because fundamentally, I think what a woman needs from their husband is love, and what a man needs from their wife is respect. Obviously, you need love. Both sides need love, and both sides need respect. But I think the respect is much stronger for what a man requires from his wife versus what a wife requires from her husband. And the reality is, her going out there disrespecting him in public is one of the most heinous, diabolical things anyone could actually do. Like, it is ego and soul destroying. She is supposed to always be in your corner. She is supposed to fight for you even when she thinks you're wrong. All right? That's what I mean. All right? That is what I'm talking about. Even if she thinks you are wrong, she would fight for you in public. Bro, you found yourself a hoe. She'd take advantage of you. Get rid of her.
At first, it was simply about the Red Pill community and specifically Fresh and Fit.
So my husband actually interviewed these Red Pill guys on their podcast one time, and I won't mention their names because who the fuck even cares. But it was so funny because he
Is she showing their pictures in the background? Is she commenting on her husband's drama?
actually called them out on their shit and their like stupid fucking beliefs and how they say that they're helping men when actually what they say is like really detrimental and damaging, especially to young impressionable men. Because he went at them, the red pill guys, like fans, were attacking him afterwards, found pictures of us, and because I'm like objectively attractive, you know, they were saying that we couldn't possibly have got together in a natural kind of way or like in the wild, like it must have been an arranged marriage.
In the wild.
Now, the most ironic part about her
Alright, that's kind of a nothing statement.
call out is that she herself turned to making Fresh and Fit as content for women, where she embodies the idea that women should be constantly treated like spoiled brats who need their every whim catered to by their husbands. In fact, it seems like all
I
she
don't know,
really
man. I think that the workload ultimately needs to be divided. You're about to hear a really hot take, all right? The hot take isn't that you need to do 50% and she needs to do 50%. The really nuclear take is that you need to do 100% and she also needs to do 100%. And you will be there for each other no matter what. The nuclear hot take is the man could work and be making a living, and the wife could work equally hard, let's say, hypothetically, raising the kids and making sure the house is clean and cooking dinners, because ultimately that is on the plate of what needs to be done. So realistically, this is both sides putting in. There is not one side that will just be infinitely spoiled and pampered by the other, because that's not a relationship between spouses. That's a relationship between a grandfather and a grandchild. All right, that's not how relationships work. There needs to be a give and take on both sides. What is happening?
knows how to do is sit at home and spend Akasha's money. I mean, just listen to how she describes herself.
For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Jasleen. I'm a stay-at-home wife, but I don't cook or clean because I don't feel like it.
Dump her, divorce her. Divorce her. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Get the hell out of here. Literally get rid of her. This is unbearable. Like, this is not someone, honestly, look, I'm not trying to be rude here, but this is someone who's had zero struggle in her entire life, and she's just trying her absolute best to get by on being a bitch, and it's just gonna get worse.
And my husband is a full-time stand-up comedian, and he buys me lots of nice things.
And
I bet he's not really around that much, to be honest. I bet you that's kind of what the issue is with the relationship. I'm gonna tell, look, I obviously don't know what's going on behind closed doors. My guess is he doesn't give her enough attention. And the attention that he does give her is just like superficial shit, buying her things. And the reality is, I feel like this might even be a cry for help, that she actually just wants his full attention. Look, I don't know if this is true. Maybe this is just my fan fiction here, but I feel like her crash out, which is absolutely unacceptable regardless of the motive, it might just be a cry for his attention, which he is refusing to actually give her and open up to her properly with. He wants her. You're about to hear some absolute diabolical shit. I don't know, man. I'm not like a relationship channel or anything. I'm just telling you my opinion. She wants you to stand your ground, man. She wants you to say to her, bitch, end your podcast. It's putting a strain on our marriage. I'm bringing in the money. No, you actually can't do this. All right, maybe not with the word bitch in it, but she wants you to put your foot down. She wants you to be a man. She is testing how far she could push you. And every single time she steams rolls you and you just get absolutely obliterated by her, it makes her want to push you more. She wants you to push back. She wants you to tell her, actually, you can't do this. Because that's what makes you a man.
Trust me, guys, after this, the clips only get much worse. You know, it's almost like going from Weenie Hut Jr. straight to Hell's Inferno, as she totally comes off as an entitled
she should look, man, what's going on?
Gold digger when it comes to finances.
How do you and your husband split finances?
We don't.
We don't.
If you want to work, all for that. But like any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his account, that's a fucking red flag. His money is our money and my money is my money.
Actual demonic shit. It's crazy.
Yes, that's very easy to say when you have no income.
That is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from day one.
Oh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Let's go ride a bike with my wife.
And it's just like the best fucking part is like living with your best friend.
Also, it's like there's
who buys you designer shit.
My wife objectively gorgeous. Me? Nah. So that's what you gotta do. I gotta work my ass off, and then every time she starts looking at me and she starts assessing my beauty, I just throw a bag at that bitch.
All right, I get this is comedy, but that is the saddest shit I've ever seen. Like, he's basically saying out loud that he doesn't actually give her the attention that she needs. All right, I'm gonna hit you with another truth nuke. Obviously, when it comes to male attraction versus women attraction, men and women are physiologically and biologically different. Men get attracted based on what they see, all right? You see a curvy, piece of driftwood and you're already thinking of some shit. All right, I know you. I've been there. We've all been there. All right, that's a man. A woman is emotionally attracted primarily. Obviously, physical attraction is something. It does contribute, but it's the emotional attraction first and foremost. That is why if you go to every single woman's section of bookstores in Barnes & Noble, you'll have like a poor petite young damsel dating a gigantic homunculoid Mothman Minotaur creature. And it's going to be every single time. And then you'll open the book, if you're brave, and you're going to see the homunculoid Mothman Minotaur was a soft and protective person. He actually was there to protect this woman, but also he had urges. And that's exactly what she wants. It's the tame the beast mentality, and that is exactly what women are into when it comes to females literature. Because the reality is, women are attracted with their heart, men are attracted with their eyes. All right, that's just how it works. That's the reality. If you are married to this lady and she's assessing your beauty, it means she's not emotionally connected to you. That's what it means. Because you will see some people, you'll see like some objectively gelatinous fat ass schlob with a hot wife that is super attracted to him, because she loves him, because he's there for her, and because she has that emotional connection. That is a prime physiological difference between men and women. And the fact that this guy's even making this joke, it means he doesn't even know that that's true. And that means that he doesn't actually have this emotional connection. And that's why she's utilizing him as her just infinite piggy bank to band-aid her heart with rich shit infinitely and humiliate you in the process.
Chest pass!
And just look at her sheer reaction.
I'm sorry if I'm overanalyzing this. I don't really do relationship type videos that often because I feel like people don't really care about my opinion. But hey, I'm not here trapped with you. You are trapped here with me. All right, so listen, if this is the kind of thing you like, I might do more. But the reality is, yeah, these guys both suck. He's a simp. She's a whore. Terrible combination.
To Akash surprising her with an upgraded wedding ring recently.
First of all, I want to say to Enma, happy birthday. All of this is possible because you told me I could do anything that I wanted.
With him also saying that he now wanted to renew their vows in India in front of their families. And just pay attention to what her main focus was in this clip.
The ring! Shiny! Shiny! 0 IQ behind these eyes. Shiny!
Ghislaine Singh, will you be Ghislaine Singh forever again?
Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! How big is this?
Bro! Dude, that kiss dodge is killing me.
This is so...
Courtney Mustard, you were sitting in her lap.
Now clearly she was not moved by the rededication of their love to each other. Hell, she even dodged that poor motherfucker's kiss.
Marriage is much better for women. It literally starts with a man getting on his knees begging you. But
dude, it's actually insane. If you feel that way, it means you are miserable! Marriage is actually awesome for both men and for women, actually. It's incredibly awesome for both.
That enough? No. You also get an exquisite piece of jewelry. 3 paychecks, that's what she told me. 3 on a finger?
And I just know for a fact that she is the type of—
No one tell my wife it needs to be 3 paychecks, god damn it. No one tell her.
Chick to require a blood diamond over a lab grown, all because she needs to walk around feeling supreme to other people.
To be fair, alright, you're about to hear some ancient Jewish wisdom. If you're gonna buy a diamond, buy the GIA certified blood diamond over the lab grown every day of the week. Lab grown diamonds have 0 resale value because the technology is evolving and they'll be able to just create more diamonds for cheaper, mass produce them. Whereas if it is a physical, actual even if they look identical, all right, you're about to hear a nuclear hot take. Even if the 2 rocks look absolutely identical, the lab-grown diamond is inherently worthless because it is able to be recreated infinitely, whereas the one that is an actual natural diamond cannot be infinitely recreated, therefore it does retain its value. All right? Hear me out. Hear me out. When you're buying her a ring, think of it as an investment. Think of it, your net worth should not change. God. All right, anyway. Moving on.
You know, she wants to feel that slave labor on her finger. And Akash actually makes another fatal mistake here of
makes you feel superior and stuff. It's awesome.
Encouraging her to have a TikTok and podcasting platform.
Who's your
bro? Big mistake.
First girlfriend.
I had one in college.
Subject.
Now for him, this was really the beginning of the end, as she would start oversharing quickly.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for
God, this clip is the worst. This is the worst clip ever.
College. The top like 4 songs when I came back for my sophomore year: Click, Pop That, Bands Make Her Dance.
Can I tell you something absolutely diabolical? I'm not nostalgic for any point in my life because I am currently living the absolute best part of my life. Thank God. I thank God every single day for where I am right now. All right? That is what marriage is supposed to do to you. Marriage is supposed to make your life reach such a new height that you're not even nostalgic for the old times. You want to incorporate some of the things that you're nostalgic for in the new times. Like, for example, I'm currently rewatching Lord of the Rings. And it's pretty awesome because she never watched Lord of the Rings. Oh my God. She read the book, so, you know, that's fine, whatever. It's like it's a pass, obviously. But you know, it's amazing. That is feeling nostalgic on an entirely new level.
Birthday cake, the 2 chains. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through.
Bro, actual generational whore. Bro, that's why, dude, women are so cooked these days. Because this is every man's worst nightmare. Like, this is an instant disqualifier in my book. I know that this is gonna sound harsh, but this is an instant dating disqualifier.
So it's like...
But don't worry, because Akash Singh is a generational indie simp. What a massive simp. Oh my God.
Ugh. And it's just hilarious because Akash acted like he found this diamond in the rough. Like,
and he also was like, oh my God, and she was a virgin. Yeah, sure.
She was some pure angel sent down from heaven, when it turns out she was the total opposite.
I was popping my pussy in these white boy frat houses.
I met this guy on Tinder. This was before Bumble or Hinge. Like, this was like in the OG days of the app. And this guy, I made the dumb mistake of letting him sleep over, like not really wanting to fucking hook up. And I like woke up in the morning and like my asshole was a little sore. Oh my God.
And I gotta say, for some of you,
dude, what? God, this is great. Man, control your woman, sir. Control your woman. What is happening? She's going out there doing all of this.
Out of college, she sure does reminisce about it a lot. And it seems like most of her memories involve partying,
sex. Yeah, she's cheating on him while he's on his gigantic tours, doing stand-up comedy everywhere, or whatever the hell he's doing. Incredibly hot take. Insanely hot take. She's cheating on that man.
And other men.
So do me a favor, to all my brown girls who are starting college, you actually don't have to date the first guy that gives you attention. When I got to college, I was like, oh my God, it's like open season and like all these guys are like starting to give me attention and like everyone's being so social.
Now where things would really explode for Neon's father though, is when his wife opens up her mouth about her best friend's podcast host husband, Nav. And at first I thought she was actually talking about the
No, she's not out there literally, bro. She's not out there simping for her podcast co-host husband, right?
She rapper. But no, she is on this man's dick like no married woman I've ever seen.
Would y'all ever have an together with your husband?
Priya, I'm actively trying to have an because this couple is so fucking good looking and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy.
She's talking about her friend's husband. And she's married. Dude, this is Saddam and Gomorrah podcast. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
Now for me,
whoa! We gotta exercise some demons, all right? Say it with me. Numbers 5:11. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the people of Israel. If a man's wife goes astray and breaks faith with him, if a man lies with her sexually and is hidden from the eyes of her husband, and she is undetected, though she has defiled herself, and there is no witness against her, since she was not taken in the act, and if the spirit of jealousy comes over him, and he is jealous of his wife, who has defiled herself, or the spirit of jealousy comes over him, and he is jealous of his wife, though she has not defiled herself, then the man shall bring his wife to the priest, and bring the offering required for her, 1/10 of an ephah of barley flour. He shall pour no oil on it, and no frankincense on it, for it is a grain offering of jealousy, a grain offering of remembrance, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Lord. The priest shall take the holy water in an earthenware vessel, and take some of the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle, and and put it into the water. The priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and unbind the hair of the woman's head, place in her hands the grain offering of remembrance, which is the grain offering of jealousy, and in his hands the priest shall have the water of bitterness that brings the curse. The priest shall make her take an oath, saying, if no man has lain with you, if you had not turned aside to uncleanness while you were under your husband's authority, be free from this water of bitterness that brings the curse. But if you have gone astray, though you are under your husband's authority, and if you have defiled yourself, and some man other than your husband had lain with you, then let the priest make the woman take the oath and of the curse, and say to the woman, the Lord makes you a curse and an oath among your people. When the Lord makes your thigh fall away and your body swell, may this water that brings the curse pass into your bowels, make your womb swell, and make your thigh fall away. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. The priest shall then write these curses in a book, and wash them off into the water of bitterness. He shall make the woman drink from the water of bitterness that brings the curse, and the water that brings the curse shall enter her and cause bitter pain. The priest shall take the grain offering of jealousy out of the woman's hands, and shall wave the grain offering before the Lord and bring it to the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the grain offering as its memorial portion, burn it on the altar, and afterwards shall make the woman drink the water. When he has made her drink the water, then, if she has defiled herself and has broken faith with her husband, the water that brings the curse shall enter her and cause bitter pain. Her womb shall swell, her thigh shall fall away, and the woman shall become a curse among her people. But if the woman has not defiled herself and is clean, then she shall be free and shall conceive children. This is the law in cases of jealousy, when a wife, though under her husband's authority, goes astray and defiles herself, or when the spirit of jealousy comes over a man and is jealous of his wife, then he shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall carry out for her all this law. The man shall be free from iniquity, but the woman shall bear her iniquity. In other words, she a hoe.
All of these statements would be grounds for immediate divorce. And no, I'm not even joking. Like, never have I sat with one of my friends and said, damn bro, your girl got a fat ass, she got some nice tits.
No, literally, this is literally not a discussion I would ever have in my life, and neither would my my women. Literally never. Never. It's disgusting. It's horrible.
Like, that would just be so disrespectful that I would expect any one of my boys to slap the hell out of me for that. And obviously vice versa.
We're gonna have a compound.
Yes.
And me, Nav, Nehal, and Akash are gonna be in two like adjoining houses so that we could always be near each other.
A connecting basement where we have dinner and movie nights and
yeah. Akash is such a fucking king. Like, everyone knows he's the best husband, and I don't often find men that measure up to him. And like, Nav completely measures up to him, if not more.
But for
if not more, oh my god, oh my god. And these are people that are like influencing a generation of kids, man.
Gosh, this ends up being the worst part, as he willingly gets cucked for their audience of less than 1,000 subscribers. And the funniest part to me is that he shows up on the couch with the other husband, Nav, and I expected him to be like this jacked, badass, historically good-looking guy. And funny enough, he's really just like a
they look the same! That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. This guy, this is who she's thirsting after like crazy. I told you, man, it's about the emotional connection. It's not even about the physical look. The physical look is completely and utterly secondary to emotions. I literally said this before. Living proof. Living proof! This dude looks like an Easter Island head.
2.0. He's like his cooler older brother or some shit like that, body language and all. And at first they just discuss their home life and the drama over their finances.
But when I tell my wife I'm tired, I want her to say, I'm sorry, baby, I understand. That must be exhausting, buying me all these things. Instead, she goes, so am I. And if I dare open my mouth to go, what the fuck did you do that made you tired?
I went to Pilates.
It's been unspoken, but now we're just saying it, now that we're both making content. If it's funny, we're good. That was clearly my wife trying to be funny, and watching everyone take it, because the idea that my wife, she's gonna start making so much, you guys are gonna make so much money. No. The idea that she would even go to the bank to try to open her own account, it's like laughable.
But quickly it is quite apparent that Akasha
I can do absolutely nothing myself, and yet I still want this man to worship me forever.
wife cannot handle herself around the aura that is Nav.
We love you, but I actually love you in one of all of.
Bro, she's saying this in front of her husband. Bro, where's the priest with the water of bitterness? Bring him! Bring him!
I mean, just look at the eye contact between them and how awkward Akash looks. I mean, she really almost slipped up and straight up said—
Dude, that is a straight up nightmare. Like, grounds for divorce, one strike policy, actual nightmare. Dude.
That she wanted to bang this guy.
Can I say this is the best husband I've ever seen? And I'm not even saying that hyperbolically. It's a little annoying.
And other than the blatant cuckery, she makes it up that she is the most ungrateful
Bro,
wife.
here's the craziest thing. Like, I'm sure that everyone in my audience is gonna think she's a completely insufferable, immoral bitch, and they're all right. But I'm also gonna tell you, I'm gonna drop a truth nuke that I'm sure a lot of you are not gonna be ready to hear. This is his fault just as much as it's her fault. This is a two-party problem. All right, this is a genuine both sides. Yeah, she's insufferable, but she married a complete and utter cuck that literally opened his wallet for this lady for infinite shekels and zero return. All right, I'm gonna be real here. This is a two-party problem. What is this? Have some self-respect. This guy's a way better husband than everything. Oh yeah, totally. You should want to have sex with him, actually. Can I at least watch, please?
To this guy. And as a matter of fact, she does not even want to celebrate his own birthday with him using his own money.
May the 4th is his birthday. And
May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
Yeah, and every year I dread it because I have to be nice the whole day, and I have to get him something. Listen, I'm just used to being treated
You hate his birthdays because you have to be nice to him for a whole day and get him something? Bro, this is the bare minimum of marriage. What is going on?
like a princess all day, every day. So that one day that I don't.
Oh, what torture.
Yeah.
And so, of course, she got a lot of backlash over this. I mean, even the most staunch feminist out here was saying, like, please do not make me defend a man. Obviously, Myron was out here roasting the shit out of them collectively. And this was their airhead response to all the attention that they've been garnering.
But I will say, our haters are kind of really fucking dumb because you hating on us gained me 15,000 followers. That's organic followers. So it's like, you're just giving us more relevancy.
Bro, I don't think you understand. No one cares about your relevancy. Your relevancy is irrelevant. I am using you as a teaching moment to look at exactly what not to do. Why men should actually be manly and not absolutely cuck themselves out. And why women should actually be womanly and actually respect their husbands. You are a teaching lesson. Your misery is my content. I actually don't care about your success. Whether you succeed or fail, it is completely and utterly irrelevant to me because I know you are desperately unhappy and so is your husband. So I literally could not care less if superficially your numbers look good.
Like, we were literally a pop culture topic and like people couldn't stop talking about it.
Don't care. Also, me, blue retard on the internet, more famous than both of you combined. So again, literally don't care.
Yes, your haters will totally make you famous. I'm sure
this is like retard logic.
They aren't just watching the house burn down.
They're just watching your podcast because they want to see you insult your husband again so that they can get a viral clip out of you. They don't care.
From afar. And I feel like everyone has that dumbass friend who pauses them in the middle of a conversation to say, yo, bro, this conversation's great. We should totally have a podcast. You and me. You're right, bro. Everyone's got to hear this. And I really think that that's how this stupid-ass podcast started. Akash, don't tell me you built that studio, my guy. I mean, straight up, they need to start giving out IQ tests before they will sell you a microphone. And I'm just saying, guys, like, being someone whose job is online in the fashion that mine is, I would never date an influencer chick. Or even a girl who has any sort of aspirations of online fame. True. It would just be way too big of a liability for reasons like this, and I definitely would not want—
I don't know, man. I don't even think it's like reasons like this. I just think in general, you want to marry a modest woman, all right? You want to marry a woman that's number one goals would be taking care of your house, right? Respecting you, having children that she loves and wants to take care of. The whole clout thing, that is to fill an empty hole in these people's hearts because they don't fill that hole with something else. With love from a husband, with the presentness of a father, with the laughter of a child. Instead, they need to replace that with vapid, empty social media bullshit. In fact, I think in general, for women that are looking for a relationship, I don't think that they should strive towards some sort of giant presence on social media unless it's completely and utterly sanitized and devoid of any form of relationship content. But hey, that's just my opinion. A good opinion.
Someone who sits at home all day spending and solely relying on my income. But hey, I guess that's just the way I see it. You know, there has been this continued sense that, like, the Rogan sphere and pretty much any comedian kind of revolving in its atmosphere has kind of been, like, self-destructing in the last year. I mean, if you go to the Flagrant podcast right now, the comment section is a literal war zone where—
Oof!
Kosh is getting
Release the Jasleen files.
Destroyed. He's getting called a cuck. He's getting called a simp. I mean, someone take that motherfucker off the barbecue. He's done. He's cooked. But either way, I do want to thank you.
Yeah, the internet's ruthless. Hi, I'm the internet. I'm ruthless. It's important. It's important. This is actual positive commentary. Not for Akash, obviously. That guy's pathetic as fuck. He needs to actually develop a little bit of self-respect. You gotta chill on your ego, man. You gotta ease up on the ego for just a second there, my guy. You are not hot shit. And also simultaneously, you are not completely and utterly worthless and devoid of love. All right? You are somewhere in between those two.
Guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing.
Crazy. Yeah, definitely subscribe. I'll link Jamari in the description. This was a good analysis. Dude, what a nightmare situation between Pokimane and this freak show. Like, bro, this is why modern dating and relationships are cooked. Any relationship that actually does get attention online looks exactly like this. This will convince a generation of men not to get married and a generation of women to specifically marry a man that will just exist as an additional pocketbook for your future. Absolute nightmare fuel. Horrible influence on people. Get married, build a family, have children, be happy, find God. Sorry, it's just the healthiest mindset and also the correct one. See you in the next one. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.